What is going on?
How are you?
You are all fired up today. I think is this all the steak you've been eating?
I have had so much protein in meat crushed into this ridiculous doughboy body.
I run enough for the two of us, so I will pass on some of my burnt calories because otherwise I'm afraid we may lose my partner.
I know it ended tonight at the Brazilian steakhouse. I turned the
Is that similar to a Brazilian? Is that similar to a Brazilian wax?
It is not.
It is not.
But someone did bring up Brazilian about Ranger Jack's mustache in comments from last week's show. I thought that was interesting.
So I'm excited to finally say I have a few, probably 5 or 6 shows ago, we lost our split screen. And I started going back looking at videos. I'm like, dang, it's slipping. It's been who's talking, and I could not figure out what's going on. So this week, my goal was I sent out I went to a YouTube page that kind of teaches you how to do this. And they didn't have the answer, but I put the question in the comments and he got back to me. He goes, you're on speaker view. You need to switch to gallery view. And bing, we are now split screen. I love it.
It's fantastic. Maybe I can be on with Ranger Jack someday and not just you.
Maybe we could have a 3-way split screen or a 4-way.
Hey, I don't have you.
Maybe Ranger
talking about 3 ways with Ranger Jack. I'm not interested.
At least not with me involved, anyways. Big news this week. I don't think I've even told you yet. We sold our gallery on Monday.
What? You sold the gallery, but not the business, right?
So Copper Elements and my gallery were 2 separate business entities. Yeah. I sold the gallery and retired a multimillionaire. No, I'm kidding.
Fantastic.
I sold the gallery. We just couldn't. We lost one of our key employees last year and realized how much extra of our own time we had to put into all this. And it was taking it. Copper Elements has exploded right now. We have more work. We can't keep up. And Francis and I had a serious talk. We're like, we bought the gallery so someday we could sell it and use it as retirement. We're just going to cash in early because we don't know what it's going to be like in 1 year or 5 years or 10 years from now. We know what it's like right now, and we're sitting in a good spot with it. Yeah. The numbers are strong. We had a buyer, and Monday we signed the papers and got a check. And
that's awesome. Congratulations.
And didn't even have time to go out and celebrate or go out to dinner or do anything. We let her come home. He went to the shop and went to work.
Cheers. Well, you've confided in me. I mean, I'm a business executive coach, certified, and started
certifiably certifiable.
And we've had some good conversations about, where your largest margins and your business is coming from, and some of the toil that you're doing that doesn't necessarily have the ROI that Copper Elements is having with the network you've built up with, galleries around the country and people that are going to continue to purchase you, and maybe not going to as many shows. Good step for you guys.
So let's take a look at chat.
Sure. Let's see who's here.
I see we got comments going on here. Breaking news: Federal Rangers seeking Ranger Jack.
Wow, the chaser is now the chased. That's amazing.
Let's go for a walk, says the Copper Factory. You read the comments. I don't know what he means by that, but
maybe people don't.
We try to. We try to go through and read them all. Can't always do it.
60 people in the room already. Congratulations to you guys. Paul, Truckin, Rudy, Bobby Brass, Jeremy.
Copper Dad now has millions and millions of dollars to put towards a major treasure hunt.
Susie's here.
No, I would not want to put myself in that position. If I were ever a multimillionaire where I did that, I would do it and launch it, have it set to launch when I died, so I didn't have to put up with any of the BS. Of course, my family would, but
Well, cool. Vertigo's in here. Davio just joined.
Hey,
We've got
Jack's
some
brother.
fun
Hey, would you say hi to your brother, Vertical? Tell him, reach out sometime, would you? We'd love to have him on.
We've got some fun stuff going on, but Dan, there's one thing we do that no other show in the Forest Fem community does, and we're number one at it. You know what
We
it
are
is?
number one. That is called You Don't Know Jack, the number one game show of all game shows ever.
Let me stop sharing because I did the wrong thing there. And let me go to.
We got a big show lineup for tonight, as we always
do.
do.
Actually have a big show. Let me make sure I've got that one open. Pretty sure I do. Yep, there we go. All right, now let me share screen. And here we go. Can you see that, Dan?
I can see that. Can you put why don't you click that up? There we go.
Great.
So the agenda for tonight, I'll let you take care of the agenda.
Well, just our welcome. We're going to talk first about just our reactions to
Barbarisi.
Dan being on 2 shows now with Mike and Capro last night, and Toby and Shelly, and then we'll get into You Don't Know Jack. Dan's going to pull up the St. Jude's total and the link to donate. I think we've hit the over $1,500 mark, and now we need to get to our goal of 2,000. So we hope if you guys are enjoying the show or enjoy what we do, or are just doing all right, where you can give a few dollars to that, we'll pull that link up. We're going to give away, we're going to do the comment picker from last week's show. So if you want to go to last week's show, if you haven't put a comment yet, and we're going to be giving away a copy of Doug Preston's The Codex tonight. Then I've got a PowerPoint on You've Been Wise. And if we have some more time, we'll talk about Bronze and Forest and go from there. And I always like to pull one comment up on the agenda, and that was the documentary doctor. Jens said, great show, thanks. And Dan, we got some new comments I put on here. We've got
Rudy Green, hell of a week, hell of a show. Ranger Jack is the greatest. I don't know if I agree with that comment, Rudy, but
I like Rudy so much, but I don't know what he likes about Ranger Jack. So Packer Jack may have a promising career ahead of him as an actor. Wow. I don't know about that. You guys are absolutely.
I think he already is a paid. He already is a paid actor.
I thought I was a paid actor. Thanks again for the effort you put into the Copper Factor. It really shows. That means a lot. Thank you, Joe, for that. Always enjoy.
Copper Dan and Jet. Sorry,
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Copper Dan and Packer Jack, the dynamic duo.
Yep. Great show. Thank you for all the research. It's awesome.
See, we do read the comments.
We do read the comments. So there you
And
go.
if you leave a good enough comment, you can end up on the feedback page.
And this also gives you time, if you didn't leave a comment on last week's show, to get in there and do so, to be eligible for the.
What are we giving away this week, young man?
The Codex.
Codex. Is it signed?
It is not signed.
It's not signed. That's good.
Yeah.
So, talking about signed books, I think if you guys were in Toby and Shelley's show when they interviewed Dan, I super chatted to reach out to Dan one more time. I did this when his last book came out, but I reached out and said, can we somehow get a couple of signed copies so we can give one of them away to you fine people? And he kind of knocked it down. And then somebody asked again last night in Mike and Capro's chat, and he politely I'm not done yet. I'm not done with this yet. Dan, if you're listening, I will send you 3 books if you'll do it for giving away to make money for St. Jude's. I'll give them all away. And get me an address that you're comfortable with. I will send them to you. I'll pay for shipping to you and from you. And all you have to do is put your fine little signature in them.
You can tell why Jack met with Copper Dan. He is the most incorrectly spelled person in the chat.
Yes. You know what? I think that's cool as heck that he misspelled persistent on my map. It makes it even a little more special.
Forrest would like that. We've got Honeybee says, is Jens like a superstar in Germany like David Hasselhoff? Why do people chase him so much? I don't know if she's talking about Jens or David Hasselhoff, but nobody hassles the Hoff, and Jens works with the Hoff. So I think nobody hassles the Jens either, I guess. I don't know. Maybe Ranger Jack does. That's about it. Rudy says, I'm sucking up to Ranger Jack so he doesn't rain down justice. That's probably a good strategy, Rudy, if you're going to be continuing to have Logapalooza going on as you have so far this year. That's fantastic. Question for Copper Dan from Doug. Do you get sniffed by dogs occasionally? Just asking. That's a terrible question. All right, let's get going with the numero uno game show in the USA. You don't know Jack.
It was a reference to the Braun sniffing dogs because I'm right. Copper Dan. Okay. But are you ready? Are you guys ready?
Each show will invite Jack Stoof to join us for a fun segment called You Don't Know Jack. Now, we have tried to get in Jack, but the fact that he's refusing to do depositions right now, hope you guys can really understand. I hope you can forgive us that he's just not willing to come on right now until this legal morass is over with. But Dan has been in contact with him, and we do hope somewhere down the road, Jack will actually join us for You Don't Know Jack. All right, Dan, question number 1.
Here we go. By now, we have all heard that Jack has legal representation via an attorney named Tom Hanasco. Yep. What law firm does Tom work for, and what is the name of the street of the Santa Fe office of the firm where Jack met with Forrest in June of 2020? We need the name of the firm and the name of the street.
Duty. What is the name of the law firm that Tom works for? What street is it on in Santa Fe? Oh, we're going to tough, easy. You never know what's coming at you. You don't know, Jack. Mm-hmm. Nobody is replying so far. Vertigo is probably Google searching like a maniac right now. Oh, I love that when we challenge him. And Vertigo does come up with it after the Google search. And the answer is Hinkle Shanner LLP. What's the name of the avenue, Dan?
I'm sorry. There we go. Montezuma Avenue.
Montezuma Avenue. And there's Tom, Jack's attorney. Well, Vertigo got it, but for the rest of it, you don't know Tom. All right. Question number 2. In the paperback version released today of Dan Barbarisi's book, Chasing the Thrill, Dan quotes Jack as saying, but at some point I was starting to hit the limit of what questions I could answer while still protecting the location where the treasure has been. And the questions were blank, blank, blank. What were the questions doing? Jack said, but at some point I was starting to hit the limit of what questions I could answer while still protecting the location where the treasure had been. And the questions were, what did he say our questions were? Incredible. No.
Dewey, Screw 'em, and How.
It was not the name of the law firm. Highway to Hell, said Gedelkin. Well, you can't get Montezuma's Revenge. Some people think that is a highway to hell. Oh, what did Jack say in the newly released today? If you got the Kindle version, if you saw some of those things. Vertigo said, petering off anyway. And the answer is petering off anyway. 2 questions in the copper kettle. Rudy says, causing no harm. Treasurer says, hey, all. All right, question number 3. Dan.
Hang on, you're lagging a little bit, so my screen hasn't popped up yet. All right, here we go. Rudy Green, the master of the Log Guild, also has a website and has done a video as his incredible customized minivan where he becomes Jeremiah Johnson on wheels. What is the name of Rudy's van in addition to a month's worth of water? What
is Rudy's nutritional go-to?
Okay, what is Rudy's nutritional goal for sustenance while roughing it?
What did Rudy name his van? What does he consume for nutrition when he's not drinking water when he's in his van? Oh. I thought it was cool that Rudy actually named his van. Vertigo. Vertigo's already got the answer. Firefox. That's Rudy's website. Hi, folks. Rudy Green here. I live in this van. Firefox and I spend our winters together. And Rudy actually gets packets and packets and fills containers with Soylent.
Soylent Green, as good as humanly possible.
As good as humanly possible. But in this case, Soylent Green is not people. Rudy Green is not eating.
It's 0.88 ounces. Wherever that is, I don't know.
All right, here we go. Question number 4. We indeed learned in writing from Dan Barbarisi in the epilogue to Chasing the Thrill that Jack was engaging Heritage Auctions to appraise the items in chest for sale. How many different art and collectible fields does Heritage engage experts to do appraisals? How many actual different fields does Heritage engage experts to do appraisals in? Doody, doody.
Try to get that one, Vertigo. Haha.
Do, 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 do. Doody, doody, do, do, doody, doody, do. Boop, shadoop, doop, 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 doop. All right, we'll go about 5 more seconds. I haven't even seen any guesses come in yet. JK Pioneer says 8. Sorry, buddy, way too low. Vertigo says 12. Sorry, Vertigo, way too low. Doody, doody. Sophie says 19. All right, we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the answer is
40. With the help of our superb team of experienced specialists in 40 art and collectibles fields, we are pleased to offer our clients formal appraisals. Our appraisal services department will work with you to determine the proper form of appraisal and endeavor to meet any special requirements set by the client, whether that be as an individual, executor, or any other professional advisor. That's from Heritage Auctions, America's auction house.
So you know what this tells me, John?
What does that tell you?
This tells me not only do people not know Jack, they don't know Heritage.
They don't know Heritage. I actually do know Heritage.
I did not know Heritage.
All right. Thank you for playing You Don't Know Jack. Tune in next week for another riveting episode. Also, we'll change it up from time to time with live guests like Jack and ask some You Don't Know questions about others in the community. Like, again, Rudy Green. Rudy Green, the first non-Jack to have 2 questions asked about him. It's the tip of the cap of Dan and I to Rudy finding what many people think is not the spot.
Woo! Oh my goodness.
Remember, we can never end You Don't Know Jack without one cameo from our friend Frost Heave,
the snowman.
All right, Dan.
The snowman.
Right, well, this is usually the time where we talk a little bit about St. Jude's and you pull up where we're at, and then we do a comment picker from last week's show. I'm going to actually grab the Doug Preston book. I thought, oh, I have it right here. So,
all right, well, we're
going to be giving away the Codex tonight. If you commented on last week's episode, you will get a beautiful Douglas Preston copy of the Codex tonight. And Dan, you're going to pull up.
I am loading comment picker as we speak.
Oh, comment picker. Okay, go for it.
And well, I'll get everything kind of set up because that's just how we roll. And
that's how you roll, man.
And
I like that we're on split screen now.
Yeah.
All right.
No, sorry.
I'm going to fill up my cocktail while you're doing that.
All right. Well, you know what I'll be doing. Give me a second, everybody. All right. What am I doing here? Oh, okay. Wow, look at that. All right. So I need to come back over here. There we are, peeps. This is all you guys. $1,565 of our $2,000 goal. So we are getting there. We are getting there. And I will tell you what, we got a couple more prizes to give away, but we got a big one here that are, I guess I think it's a big one. This is, if you haven't seen this, I acquired Forrest Finn's very first book, The African Animals of W.R. Lay. This is signed. This is one of 100 books. This is number, I know some of you have seen this, but maybe some of you have not. This is number 45 of 100. Comes signed. Nice dust cover here. With that, I have Eric Sloan's 80. This is all the pictures. I believe this is all the, or highlight of all the pictures. That it's a catalog of the Eric Sloan's book 80, and it's got a bunch of pictures in it. It is not, this is not signed though. All right, so let me stop that. You know what? I had my share screen up. I'm sorry when I did that. So here's the book. This is the Eric Sloan's 80, and then this is the book. Now we will do comment picker. So I need to go to last week, which is episode 16. And copy. All right. So here we go. So I already copied last week's show, so we'll paste it in there. Filter out duplicate users. Oh, and then I did something wrong. Bear with me. Trying to do stuff live, it just doesn't always work out. Episode 16. And highlight, copy. Paste. Why on earth is this not working? Oh, lovely. Sorry, guys. I'm working on it. Okay, I don't know. John, where are you? Comment picker is not wanting to work at
I have
the
no
moment.
idea where that slacker jerk is.
You. Hey, do you know how comment picker works, Pecker Jack? Or
I can't help you with
Ranger
your-
Jack? I don't even know who you are.
I don't even know what you're talking about with your pecker. I can't help you with your pecker.
What kind of fake mustache is that?
What are you talking about? This is
Did Ranger Sarah give you that?
This is months and months of waxing lessons and learning how to properly twist and manipulate a gentleman's mustache.
Those are some snazzy sunglasses you got on there too. Did you get those from your local state trooper?
Clapper donut. You should know that by now. You know, boy, I think you should try that comment picker once again. You're running some show saying you're doing giveaways and then you don't give anything away.
All right. Well, let me give it a try. Let me give it another try.
I have to report you to the authorities.
Let me try.
Meanwhile, I'm hearing we're only a couple weeks away from a bunch of fenaholics coming up here for some dysfunction in the junction. But I do have to give that Lululemon credit. I know that she was up there and she actually did some nice work and did some cleaning up in the park. Thank God at least one of you fenaholics has their act together. And I also saw that she did a nice video talking about this upcoming event and saying nobody's going to be crossing the river and laying down the law. And so I give credit to this Lululemon. But you know, it's not this Clarabelle that I'm worried about. It's It's these chaseaholics like that drone drunk documentarian Jane's or Jen's, what his name is, Jane's Addiction. We got Ruby Grease, Bongwater Benny's going up there. We got Dorothea, No Place Like Home, Meacham. So I'm not worried about this Lululemon. I'm worried that we got some people up there. I even heard that card, Brutal Grammar, was talking about painting his face like a skeleton, like a skull, and running around there like Ben Gunn from Treasure Island and making dookie drops all over the park. I think if you're going to Liberty Bell's function, you should subscribe to a new channel she put up, because she lays down the law and talks about how you can have fun up there and act like a normal U.S. citizen in the park without causing havoc. But if you dysfunctional fenaholics don't play by her, or more importantly, my rules, we need you to work in conjunction for the junction. Whatever your name is there, Coconut Daiquiri. Let me tell you something. I don't even like the word junction. You know why? Because it has the word junk in it. And the last thing I want is to see junk coming out of people's trunk. And I'm talking about Trinky wrappers coming out of their trunk. And more important, I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about when I say ho-hos, ho-ho making out of people's trunk.
Hey, now are we talking about my wife that way?
We don't talk about people's spouses on the show, my friend. I don't even know what you're referring to. What I'm saying is two things. If you get my drift here, Nickel Donut. Number one.
I'm waiting. Spit it out now.
Junction, no dysfunction. And I need to know for each and every one of you what you're going to do with all that junk in your trunk.
And there you have it, folks. Ranger Jack with another riveting episode of left all of us in total confusion. Now, I'm going to have to come back and do comment picker in a little while. I will work on that because it is not working at the moment. So in the meantime, let's just go see what Chad is up to. Treasure Warriors in the house. Brutal Grammar needs to go on a t-shirt. Mr. Parnell, how are you, buddy? Are you ready to do that thing we talked about? Send me an email. Hey, Luli, I am sorry I can't come out. I love going up to Yellowstone. I don't care for whose function it is. It's just a fun time to come up there. But it's just
who won the comment picker?
So you know what? Comment picker was all set up to go. Ranger Jack comes in.
Oh no.
And everything crashed. I think he doesn't want the kids from St. Jude's to get anything.
Well, then Doug's right. We should report him to the authorities. This is ridiculous.
So my computer totally stopped working, and I've done this every single week for how long? So let me tell you what we're going to do. Well, can you talk to these fine people for a minute?
I can. I was going to pull up chat again on my phone after I was having a nice cocktail. And
I'm going to give this one more whirl.
I did hear something about function in Yellowstone a couple weeks, but I did watch Lily's video, and it's saying my internet connection is unstable. Am I okay, Dan?
Yeah, you're cutting it out, but you're okay.
Okay.
So for that's why don't you plug function for Luli?
Yeah, she started a new YouTube channel for it, and I think when I subscribed there was like 16 people, but I know she's not expecting 100 people or whatever, and said it, in fact she's going to try to have it be inclusive, but she wants to know everybody that's coming up. So check it out. Sounds like people are looking forward to having a good time. I know some people are going to stay in West Yellowstone, some people are going to camp out, but give her credit and everybody credit who's getting together to get up there on the anniversary of the find, or the supposed find, or if it's even in that area, we don't know. But I think nice of Luli to follow through on what she's been planning. I know she's going to have a good time no matter what, but It's always appreciative, just like I appreciated World Series of Fen and Mike and K-Pro and everybody who put work into having that happen back at the start of the year. And again, I'm sad that I'll be missing this, but certainly would encourage all of you to at least subscribe to Luli's channel for the Function in the Junction and check it out, see if it makes sense for you to get there, or if you're already planning on going, and even if you're going to overlap for one day, if you can hook up with everybody, no drama, and have some fun.
Yeah, if you've never been out to West Yellowstone before, now would be a good chance to go out there and meet up with some other searchers. It's always a good time when searchers get together. And generally drama generally stays away. Doesn't, even at anyone's event I've went to, it's always been a really fun time.
Ben says Bongwater Benny needs a t-shirt. I have no idea what that's referring to.
I don't know.
Ranger Jack dropping bombs on the mic.
I don't know what's going on with Comment Picker, but I tried 2 different videos to get it to plug in and it don't work.
Brutal Grammar needs to go on a t-shirt. Okay, I have no idea what that means. Jens will be there taking pictures, Lily Bell says. So that's great. I mean, congratulations to everybody who's gone. I'm bummed out that I'm not going to be there. And, obviously Dan and I are going to attempt to get out to Yellowstone later this year. So maybe we'll do a fall. We'll be out there potentially this fall right after Labor Day. And if anybody else is going to be in the area, more than happy, the more the merrier as well too. So we'll let you know what's going on there. But if you got the opportunity right now, obviously you're in the summer and this is a beautiful time of the year. Mm-hmm. Get out there to be able to see people in the chase community out there and celebrate the chase is a fun thing. And Dan, you must be bumming out because you missed World Series of Fen. Now you're missing this.
We're gonna get one of them. Yeah.
All right, I've got another PowerPoint. Believe it or not, I actually have another PowerPoint ready to go. So
good. While you're working on that, I'm gonna keep. When you're talking to the fine people of the universe here, I'm going to keep working to see what is going on with Comment Picker.
Yeah, you should do that,
because that's like the most important thing we do, and it don't work.
All right, let me know if you can see my full screen.
I can see your full screen. Keeping a secret.
All right, so keeping a secret, and I did this just based off of some feedback I got from last week's show. I had another presentation, and instead of trying to flip around and close them, I just started off with a different one. So the first one is just some rudimentary slides. Like I said, rudimentary slides, because Rudy actually posted a quick video. If you didn't see it, I don't know if it was today or last night, of the underside of the log, not the log, the tree that is knocked over, that's above the log and connected to the stump but tipped over. I actually went through this sucker in detail and got excited a few times, but then realized there's really kind of nothing to find on the tree. However, if you look towards the top of it, you can see where that white stripe that we were talking about, the white lane, potentially the lightning strike, you can see the different topography of it. So there is a kind of a lump, or if the tree was upright, there would actually be a bump coming out of the length of that white stripe, and you can see it there. And that does show that there was affected damage where the tree basically healed and pushed that area out a little bit, the cambium layer out to heal it. Because a lot of people said, well, there's other trees that also look like that because of the position of it being on the side, or where snow would rest on it, or grade more because of precipitation or sun or last, but you truly see on that top layer that there's that. So just wanted to show that again. You can see the bark beetle damage again. But this was Jack in Mysterious Writings with Jenny Kyle. Most of you guys remember this, talking about the blaze. And he said, but it probably edges on impossible to determine the exact spot with the treasure, without the treasure still sitting there, because the blaze has taken so much damage. It's difficult, and he doesn't use the word read. He puts quotes around the word read, which I think is interesting. It's difficult to read as the blaze at this point in time. And then he says later in the 6 questions with Jenny, as I've said, I think the blade is too damaged to be easily, and again, he uses quotes here, read as the blade at this point in time without the treasure still sitting in the nook beneath it. But I don't think many realize that was part of the design. And then he goes on to talk about force potential ambivalence about it. So I thought that was interesting because I think, if you believe this is the spot, you can obviously believe that lightning could be the blaze, so on and so forth, as we talked about last week. If you don't believe it, it's convincing. There's some people say, well, Forrest kind of said he made the blaze or referred to how he crafted it. I think you can, if you believe it's lightning and this is the blaze, you can lobby for it in a way that you could be convincing in a courtroom, just like you could lobby against it. But I wanted to share that just because I thought it was great that, when Rudy had first released the videos, I'm like, well, what about the underside? Maybe it's under there. No markings, bark now almost completely off. And I think my supposition is that that's what Jack's referring to, because the blaze has taken so much damage, meaning because the bark is literally almost completely, totally off of the tree now, so that anything that would have been carved, you would not see unless someone went so deep into the, sub bark or subcutaneous area of the bark that you would see carvings on there. I just wasn't able to detect anything, except to me now, those pictures actually show that kind of bump out, almost like the edge of a pipe, if you embedded it into a tree, that you actually can see where there was healing going on. And you can also see where there was bark beetle invasion in that weakness in the tree, like we talked about last week. So just wanted to share that before we get into it. And again, this is what a lightning strike in the healing hands, it says underneath, lightning strike in the healing hands of time. So you can see where that tree got hidden, and then you can see where it's almost like, boy, did someone put like a pipe halfway, into that tree, and then the bark grew over it. And what you would see if all that bark fell off of there now after it's healed, in my estimation, would be what you're seeing, especially if the bark in the area where the lightning strike first hit was the first to get invaded by the bark beetles and get knocked off, to then have that whiter appearance on it than even the gray parts of the tree. So let's talk about where we were at last week's show. And Dan, you're there?
I am back. Comment picker, I think, is just down.
Okay.
It's just not working. So we're gonna have to just put that off. We'll try it before we leave again. Otherwise, we'll double up next week. Sorry about that.
Yep. So from last week's show, we discussed lightning as the blaze.
Unless John wants to write we could go through name by name and write them all down quick and put them in your hat.
We'll do two prizes next week, or I want to make sure people see it live, so we'll wait till it's working and we'll do two prizes next week, just so that. Or if Dan and I decide to do a drunk happy hour this weekend, we'll do it then. But so everybody can see it live, so it's proven. So we discussed lightning as the blaze. We examined quotes from Forrest and references in TTOCC to lightning. We don't want to go through that since we'd like to keep the show to an hour. So if you didn't see last week's show, I'd suggest you go back and look at it if you want to see what we presented. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, I was talking with you about this, was that what I kind of took from this is we know Jack was able to figure out in a number of ways, to get to the area to search. But I'm assuming that some of the clues that he did get out of the book, and he figured out a way to read the book to decipher the book. And then he went and searched, but he come back and he went through the book to find out what the blaze was. And he said he was able to determine that. Well, I think we may have figured out how we determined that from this chapter. So if you applied this same knowledge and now go back, I think you might be able to probably figure out almost all of the clues with help from the hints in the book, which is exactly what Forrest said to do. And Forrest said once that once you figure out where will waters halt, the rest of the clues will get a little bit easier. And I think maybe what he meant is once you get that method down on how he embedded the hints, that's how potentially it could get easier, because you start to figure out his methodology of how he hid the hints ultimately to help you figure out the clues.
Yeah. And I also think that you don't need, as I've been digesting this, you don't need specialized knowledge for the clues, but there is some potential research or further hints he gave after TTOC, because I was always, I want to be a purist and just have the book and the poem and a good map and not get knocked off by then reading Too Far to Walk or whatever. But I do think I do think in regards to the hints, Forrest was trying to help without giving away the clues. And I'll explain a little
Well,
bit
one
more
thing I would
what
really
I mean
like
by
to
that.
do is apply this methodology to the home of Brown. If we're led to believe that the home of Brown is a fish named Brown, I want to see in the book, does it not, I'm not saying it's got to say that Brown is a trout or a name, but there's got to be something in the book that pushes you in a direction to use to come up with that result.
I mean, at this point, I'm more of a, I mean, Ben and I and others that came late to the chase said, we're kind of trying to life hack this chase or hack it too. And, when Cynthia comes out this week and says, because I was told so, I think I have to think that either Forrest told her post find or Shiloh did or something, because for her to say, I know it's Mr. Brown because I was told so, means there's somebody she believes told her that directly has knowledge of it. That doesn't mean she does. That doesn't mean that somebody may be effing around with her. I have no idea.
And that's not saying that I believe her or won't believe her, but I would just like a little bit more.
Rudy says Dan said methodology twice. Take a drink. All right.
Methodology.
And so we mentioned Ben Franklin and Mountain Man wisdom, and that's what I got questions about. So I did a little more digging and did some Hacker stuff. So that's what I would kind of want to go through. So Forrest in TTOTC, obviously in Lewis and Clark, talks about Osborne Russell and Journal of a Trapper, and he talks about how many times he read it. And it's really interesting that this picture that's on the cover of Journal of a Trapper, then you look at, the picture from Mountain Man and Too Far to Walk, and Forrest is holding his rifle like that and posing with one foot in front of the other like that. But I went back and looked at Journal of a Trapper again, and if you were going to make the supposition that lightning was the blaze, Osborne Russell does talk about, the storms in this area, in Yellowstone, obviously. And he says, we, however, took a nearer route and reached a little valley where we stayed until the 25th. This day we had a tremendous thunderstorm which broke into peals against the towering rocks above us with such dreadful clashing that it seemed as if they would have been torn from their foundations and hurled into the valley upon our heads. Such storms are very frequent about these mountains and often pass over without rain. So, was for, is this you read, is for saying, hey, I really enjoyed Journal of a Trapper, so you guys read that and see if it jogs anything. Now, again, the purists would say, nope, you just need the book, TTOTC, you just need the poem and you need the map. But I thought it's interesting that this book is referred to, just like Catcher in the Rye is and other things. And it's just interesting that you have Forrest posing, taking this picture, and then you look at, the cover of the book that was out for many years. I think there's different versions of the cover now, but and Forrest doing the Mountain Man thing. This is looking for Lewis and Clark, and this is exactly what Forrest says. Osborne Russell has been in these mountains for 9 years, and suddenly we felt like we were with him. We spent the next day looking for the horses and finally found them. So if you believe that lightning is the blaze, and Forrest says we spent the next day looking for the blaze and we found lightning down by, and he says down by a rivulet where the grass was tall and abundant. This is an older map, and you can see Mount Haines on there, and there's two distinct rivulets. And again, I'm sorry, I'm getting the internet notice, Dan, so I hope I'm okay here.
You're all right. You flickered a few times, but you're fine.
And I went in and kind of looked at it, and there's enough distance between them that it's not the island. But I thought it was really cool that you actually see the rivulet that's in yellow actually doesn't meet up with where the Wet Creek rivulet. It actually curled around to the west, but it's an older map of Yellowstone, and you can see two rivulets. So if we're thinking this dry creek, and in Lewis and Clark, Forrest says we spent the next day looking for the horses and finally found them down by a rivulet. If you believe in this lightning blaze solving, you'd say we went looking and lightning, and it's down by the rivulet, And that's off of one of the potential rivulets off of 9 Mile Hole. Doesn't mean we're saying that's the definitive solve. It just would make sense if you're following that line of thought. So anyways, I wanted to go back into.
Well, Forrest said we needed a good map. And how many times did he say he read this book?
I forget. It was that's a good question. I know it was at least, gosh, I don't even want to say, because I think it was 8 or 10. It could be more than that, but he said he read it a ton of times and he always enjoyed it. So anyway,
I can't say that I felt the same when I read it.
Well, Jack was the one that he used. Remember, we did the "you don't know Jack" question, and he used a synonym for sleepy. How did you feel after you read the book? And Jack basically said it put me to sleep.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was cool, and I guess I was looking at it more in a not trying to figure out stuff, just looking in a nostalgic way, because it's post potential find. So I think obviously if this was prior to June 6th and Forrest hadn't sent the chases over, I would have been more voracious with it. But in any case, I wanted to go back, and talk about if you've been wise. We know Benjamin Franklin is famous for the statement, "Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." We also know that Ben Franklin, said 3 people may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. And it was Forrest Fenn that said 2 people can keep a secret if 1 of them are dead. So obviously, in some way, shape, or form, Forrest had to have seen this quote by Ben Franklin, and could even have known what he was doing when he appropriated it and changed it a little bit for talking about the thrill of the chase, or just using it as a line that he liked to use, as he appropriated several other things in a kind and loving way. We all know, because we learn in the first grade, and I looked this up, in the curriculum of the first grade, people talk about Benjamin Franklin, electricity, lightning, and the kite experiment. So, when Forrest said it may be easier for a child to figure this out, it's interesting to note that we all learned this as kids, probably sometime around the first grade, except for those that are very advanced, like Rudy Green, but he may have learned it in kindergarten because he was in the advanced
We
kindergarten.
can't all be Rudy Green.
Vertigo actually learned it when he was 6 months old. So, but let's talk a little bit more about Ben Franklin. Now, some of this is obviously specialized knowledge, and so I'm bouncing around a little bit here, but it's interesting to note that he was the first postmaster general, and of course we have the postmarks all over TTOTC. Every child learns about Ben Franklin in first grade, including his lightning experiment with electricity. I don't think there's any American kid who wouldn't say, yeah, I learned about the kite and Ben Franklin and electricity. It's just, we're all taught that. Maybe a little girl from India wouldn't know that, but we do. And so Forrest covered his Philadelphia with his thumb. Well, we know Neil Armstrong covered the earth with his thumb, but Ben Franklin conducted his kite experiment, and the Constitutional Convention of the Founding Fathers that included Ben Franklin was held in Philadelphia. In scrapbook 219, Fenn talks about the chili contest at Christ Church. Ben Franklin is buried at Christ Church in Philadelphia. And a lot of people, Jack even said he was shook. I think he used the word shook about Fenn changing the poem to past tense. Well, if you're using current tense, you would say if you are wise, or if you're wise. But if you wanted to get the word been in there, and Dan, if I asked you to ask me, how have I, how would you say, hey, John, how have you, using that word? Just pronounce it.
Where are we at here? Sorry. Did you lock up?
No, I would just say, if you were going to ask me how I'm doing or how have I been, just repeat the words back to me. How have you been?
How have you been?
Oh, I broke up. Am I back?
You're back. How have you been?
Right. So if I hear you and listen to you instead of read it, it sounds more like Ben. Hey, how have you been? Than been. How have you been? And so if you've been wise and found the blaze, if you have been like Ben Franklin and found lightning because you're hearing and listening and not reading, I changed my poem to past tense to get the word BEEN in, instead of saying if you found the blaze, if you're wise in current tense. So a past tense change would get the word BEEN in there. Blaze, also preceded by heavy loads and water high, is a thunderstorm. Now, obviously, if you're thinking of the 9 Mile solve, you're thinking of the rocks, you're thinking of Father on the Banco by Fenn Rock. But if there's a general and exact solve, it would be interesting if there's truly a video of Forrest going through the 9 clues.
Heavy loads of electricity.
If he would say heavy loads of electricity and water high, and that's a general solve versus the exact solve or the exact blaze. It'd be interesting if there's a double entendre of dancing back and forth that might take 15 years to write a poem. We have no idea. And then we look at mountain man logic change to wisdom. We already talked about Forrest dressed up as the mountain man, and that gets us to chapter 45 in Too Far to Walk. So chapter 45, and it has a line under it. The line connects the 4 and the 5. Dan, what's 4 plus 5?
9.
9. Now,
9.
Why was this put on chapter 45? Interesting question. But we see a tree there. There is that piece of money that's tacked to the tree. But what does that tree look like? It looks like it actually has that gap. There's 2 dark sides in the middle of it. Almost looks like there could be that tubular shape sticking out between it where the money's tacked onto. And of course, all of us know that if we have a $100 bill, especially those of us that wear a World Series of Fenn and seeing people whipping out their wads of cash, Benjamin Franklin is and has been on the $100 bill for a long, long, long time.
Lightning tree.
And we know that Forrest said he put Ben on the stump in Mountain Man because he said, I drew a line in the dirt that stepped off 100 yards and nailed a $100 bill to the tree stump. What's really interesting is Forrest then says the 50 caliber bullet hit Alexander Hamilton in the forehead, but Hamilton isn't on the $100 bill. He's on the $10 bill. Now he was betting people $10 and they were giving them $10. But why would Forrest intentionally name Hamilton instead of Franklin, since he said he nailed a $100 bill? He wanted us, potentially, did he want us to be thinking about the error and say, wait a second, it didn't go through Alexander Hamilton's head if a $100 bill was on the tree. That sucker hit who, Dan?
Benjamin Franklin.
Right. And then
Lightning
the grizzly man that found Ben with a shock and claimed the treasure. That final paragraph under that. And well, first of all, let's go back to where it's highlighted. His 50 caliber bullet hit Alexander Hamilton in the forehead. Well, that would have been if there was a $10 bill on the tree, not a $100 bill. And the deadly accuracy of that shot was a shock. What do you get a shock from, Dan? A shock to my collective sensibilities.
Electricity.
I watched as the grizzly man raised a telescope to confirm his shot. As he strode toward me, his words rang out as if he expected them to be cast in bronze. I'll claim that 100 if you don't mind, sir. So again, very, very interesting if you believe lightning and Ben Franklin in all these things. But let's take it even further. Now we go to scrapbook 230. And then there was this Rondo guy. If you recall, Fenn was talking about flipping a coin. And I increased 2 areas from this. And one, he says, you repeated, we flip a coin one time and the winner takes home a picture of Benjamin Franklin. And then at the bottom, he says, I flipped it and I yelled heads. That's number 7. Heads is positive and tails is negative. Well, there's positive and negative charges, as we know. Electrons and protons. It fell heads, went home with his picture. I'm feeling good.
I'm gonna go ahead and hang
Benjamin
on,
Franklin.
John.
Yep.
I'm gonna allow this comment to come through, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Carrie Galloway says, "Jesus effing Christ, good work, PJ." I just wanted to go ahead and let you toot your horn there, because I'm pretty much thinking the same thing.
Well, this one is, how can he say Alexander Hamilton when he put Benjamin Franklin on the tree? And we know it's not Hamilton on the $10 bill. It's like he's challenging us to correct him and say, no, it's Ben Franklin. Ben, the wise guy, the guy who said early to bed, early to rise, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And then we've got this. And now finally, the Madison River was named in July 1805 by Meriwether Lewis at Three Forks. The central fork of the three, it was named for U.S. Secretary of State James Madison, who succeeded Thomas Jefferson. He was one of the 10 founding fathers, along with Benjamin Franklin.
Source, Madison Junction.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's my presentation for tonight on If You've Been Wise. And
Good
found
work, my friend. Good
plays.
damn work.
Whoo.
I need to take you up on doing that treasure hunt with you, because I may not have to do anything but just watch your mind at work.
Yes.
How in the world did you not? We worked on 3D Bronze's treasure hunt. I'm thinking, how did we not get that? Of course, we're working backwards. We kind of know, we're able to.
We could have actually, we should have, I think I've said that on a show, so we can't use it. But if we went back to 3D and said, let's do another treasure hunt with what we thought the solve was, remember how we did it?
Yeah.
Holy crap. That would have been a tough hunt, the way that but actually you were on the right track and I derailed you, because you were the one that said, let's look at the family members and use their initials. And that's actually how you got to the solve. And we tried to figure that out, but then
we both said, nah, 3D Bronze wouldn't use a cipher. And wah.
I literally got 3 letters away, and I was such a neophyte to everything. I learned so much about Yellowstone by Tell Me Where, which is great, because I got caught up really, really quickly with all the different areas throughout the park and Wyoming. But I went down so many rabbit holes. It was fun, but we were looking at everything. But I guess we're getting close to the end of the hour, Dan. I would say that, are you still able to share a screen and pull the internet up? And can you go to eBay?
I can.
And when you pull it up and you get to eBay, can you do a search for Fen Bronze?
All right. Let me get started here. All right. So I will share screen. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. So type in Fen Bronze and click on that duck, the second one.
Right.
So this duck is not from the Santa Fe. This is actually 1969, done by Fen Bronze in Lubbock, Texas, where Forrest would find artists like Glenna Goodacre and Wandell and this individual. And Dan, I don't know if you show the other photos, if you go up and kind of click through the photos, but
no, you can see what I've been searching for lately.
Oh, coins. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you click, you can see right there, it actually says Fen Bronze 39 of 50. And the person is asking $3,000 for that 1969 Fen Bronze. Remember, he got home in 68 and started this. And so this would have been one of the first pieces. Well, now can you stop sharing screen?
Yes, sir.
So I've been doing my treasure hunting, and I actually found one of these suckers. This one is number 39 of 50. And I'm very, very proud to own it, knowing that it's literally one of the first things Forrest did after he got home from Vietnam and started his bronze foundry, was to cast this. And the other exciting news is I have another piece by Fen Bronze that is being shipped to me right now, and I'm excited to get that. And I think these are really cool items, and I may be even potentially interested in only owning them for a short period of time and maybe doing something either charitable or profitable. I haven't decided.
Well, the most exciting thing about tonight is you're going to give them to Copper Dan.
Yeah, it's cool to have something that was made by Forrest. Dan, I know you have a piece there from the Fen Aerosmith gallery.
Yeah, it's up in my I don't have it sitting next to me at the moment, but I moved it up in my room.
But I consider myself a lucky duck. So it's cool to have this and know that Forrest made it in 1969 when he first started his foundry. I hope this wasn't from any stolen bronze from a military base or anything that he used to make it, but it's cool to have it.
Jim Romansky says PJ's Ben busy. Ben spelled Ben.
And I'm doing a boots on the ground for something completely different this week. I did buy a new Minelab metal detector, and I'm working in conjunction with a county system and another organization. I'm getting a permit this week, and I'll be looking for something that I think, if one thing that I find, it's valued at around $30,000. And I've got 3 areas marked, probably about the size of 2 or 3 football fields to go over, but should be kind of an easy task. It's on flat land, and if I get that going and it happens this weekend, then I'll take some pictures, and maybe if I find some, hopefully I find something and we can talk about it next week.
Rudy Green says, I nominate Packer Jack as our televangelist.
Rudy, we don't just believe in epilogues. We believe in logs. And we believe in logs because of the Apostle Rudy. I would say that if you believe I'm a televangelist, I would simply ask you not to donate to the Church of the Copper Factory, to donate to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, that helps not only kids where you live, but kids all over the world and their families to never have to pay a dime to get treatment for children.
I think if we can get to $2,000, we're almost there. We put this guy. I know a couple people that would really like that. Let me, we got a couple minutes. See if I can.
Well, we're over the hour. I'm done. If people want to stay on, we can stay on for a little while longer, but I don't want to get the reputation that we overstay our welcome. Oh, is that where it's signed?
Eric Sloan 80. It's not signed. An American Souvenir in celebration of Eric Sloan's 80th birthday, March 5th to March 23rd, 1985. That must have been the show dates, but it's got all of these. So it's got a statement from the artist. I should actually read this thing before I give it away. Very nice pictures.
Beautiful.
I don't want to touch this thing all too much, so I'm going to put it away.
All right.
Is
Susie
cool.
says she believes in life after logs. You guys are wonderful to get to St. Jude's. Is Jens watching? I know Jens will watch. If he doesn't watch live, I know he likes the show and he'll see it. I'll go back and look through chat. I know I missed a lot. All you, please comment again on tonight's show. I guess since we did comment picker, you got some time to get a comment picker in the last week's show if you want to win the Codex by Doug Preston. And now Dan's got this book, so I guess it's book giveaway week. I know we still have some other expensive prizes we've given away. We should have had our I got the receipt confirmation, Dan, for the Gary Drayton signed map, and then also for Tyler's coin that went out to Jim King. And so both of those guys should have that. If
I am trying one more frantic time here.
Oh, here he goes.
To get comment picker to work. So I don't know why in the world it's not working, but we're gonna just. No, when I enter in the URL and I click get YouTube comments, it says sorry that CAPTCHA that you entered is wrong. Please try again to add the correct answer.
Oh, and the CAPTCHA.
The CAPTCHA, and I've done three separate videos just to make sure there wasn't something wrong with the video. And
now that you've sold the gallery, someone's hacked your entire system, Dan, and it's taken over your life. So
well, and it could be just my computer that I need to reboot, or I don't know. Bummer. Sorry, guys. We will, but you know what? It's Memorial Weekend. What do you go? What do you got going on this weekend?
Oh man,
you're going out searching for treasure.
I've got a pretty. I'm gonna get my new Minelab in the mail on Thursday, and
nice.
So I'll be testing that out, and then Saturday is going to be the planned boots on the ground. May extend into Sunday, but I know we'll have some family stuff going on Sunday, Memorial Day. So
this is my last long run weekend. before I start tapering for the marathon. So Saturday, I got a 10-mile run at marathon pace. And Sunday, I got a 20-mile run. And that's it. And I start the week after that. It will be this is a 50-mile week. Next week is a 35-mile week. The week after that is like a 25-mile week. And then it is go time.
I was hoping to get to Function in the Junction so I could wear it says Yellowstone on the bottom, colored enameled brass belt buckle.
Is that brown?
That's Forrest catching a brown trout on a Yellowstone belt buckle. And there is a log with a gap behind him. If you look closely, there's a log laying down behind and a Forrest catching a brown trout. Man, we may have to auction this off. Who wants the brass belt buckle for St. Jude? That could be another one. Holy cow.
I wish we could get away with actually auctioning a piece off.
Well, we could do it through eBay. We just have to pay the taxes and everything on it, but we'll figure stuff out. We got a lot more to give away and have fun with you guys. And I'm excited about doing a boots on the ground about something completely different from the chase, but with the inspiration of all of you guys and Forrest, and just getting out and smelling the sunshine and having some fun with a metal detector. I'm going to dig it.
You should bring the metal detector to Yellowstone when we go there.
Something tells me that mustache wearing idiot would arrest
Probably.
him. Yeah.
Then he would show up on the next show with your metal detector, your Mind Lab of all things.
Yeah.
They don't give those away.
I don't want his spittle and mustache wax coming into even 3 feet of my face.
I wonder if he's got a name for you. He's got plenty of names for me.
Yeah, I heard he said Cheesehead Dream or something. I don't know what that meant. But...
Dream. All right, peoples.
All right, everybody, have a great Tuesday night. Let's keep the faith. Check out what Luli's doing. Get to Yellowstone if you can. And we'll be back, Dan, I think, I don't know, on Tuesday, or we'll figure out what the schedule is next week with everybody because of the holiday weekend. And then I know we've got the events coming up in Yellowstone. So, and Dan and I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. So if people want to go live Tuesday from Yellowstone, let us know and we'll work out time so we're not overlapping. And looking forward to keeping in touch and getting Comment Picker working and giving away some more stuff.
Yes, we will. Thanks, PJ.
See you, everybody.
You have a good weekend. Talk to you later.
Bye.
See you, everyone. Peace.